This situation keeps getting crazier. After we've seen all the pictures of a more athletic looking Luka, there was some more in-depth reporting going into detail into why it all happened, and we were made to believe that there was one main culprit. However, that may not be the main reason why Luka Doncic's transformation happened at all. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. And before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get those Laker updates, guys, here in the summer, so you don't miss any of that action. All right, let's hop straight into the topics we have for you today, as this could be a revenge season for Luka. So, obviously, after coming off a disappointing first season with the Los Angeles Lakers, there was a lot of talk about Luka Doncic and his physical health, and he looks like he has dispelled all of that notion with coming out on the cover of Men's Health magazine and a very extensive report talking about the details of his physical training and the stuff he's been eating, and just sort of how Luka Doncic has been really reforming his body to make it look the way it is. And now we get another report talking about into why this all happened, and a lot of people were thinking that Nico Harris was a main culprit in the reason why it all happened, but Dan Wilkie of The Athletic talked about why he wasn't the main reason on why this happened to Luka Doncic. So, sources in Luka Doncic's inner circle believed that he was on a path towards this kind of physical transformation, even if he was never traded from Dallas, Dan Wilkie reports. Doncic and his management team began working with Azim Mack and Javier Barrio, the drivers of a physical wellness team, in 2023, well before Nico Harris traded him to the Lakers. The belief among Doncic's team, to some degree, that he matured as an NBA professional, he adopted some better habits, and completely bought into strength and conditioning programs instead of a more competitive-driven approach he's been comfortable with. And while his improvement hasn't been linear, Doncic now has the most reasons to commit himself to his craft, to his new team, and a promise that the league's most talented player. Everything that has happened in the past couple of years led to this season. Pictures that dropped Monday were just the latest proof of Doncic's work. So, obviously there was a lot to go over there, but then essentially they're just saying that this was sort of like a culmination of things, that Luka Doncic was evidently going to get to this point in his career where obviously what he was doing was not working, and he was going to get better physically conditioned and better and in better shape. And what more of a better motivation to do it when you're on a new team in a new city where a lot of people are hoping that a lot of good things are going to happen with you on that squad. And that is exactly what the situation that he's found himself here with the Los Angeles Lakers, which is the perfect spot for a guy like Luka Doncic, who really loves the spotlight and loves being on a big stage. And the Lakers are the biggest stage out there in basketball. And these two together with a more motivated Luka Doncic, this has a very good recipe for success for the Los Angeles Lakers. And they've been doing a couple of things, obviously, in the offseason to help restructure that team around him, more so LeBron James, even though you can use the same players to surround LeBron and Luka, but that is a conversation for later. But there was more they talked about in that article there of why this was all happening for Luka. And he said, but if you're seeing a shrinking Doncic, you're missing the bigger picture. The body, the publicity, the determination in his eyes, the sweat reflecting the spotlights, it's all part of a bigger plan. That plan, according to Doncic, was going to be fulfilled no matter what happened in his pro career. To everyone, it was clearly a response to the humiliation and pain caused by the Dallas Mavericks' decision to cast him away from the city he's planned to spend his entire career. Maybe you see the magazine's pictures and you see a skinny Luka. Maybe you see somebody ready to unleash a Kill Bill rage on the NBA with one of the most noticeable revenge bodies. But maybe you should take a step back and see how everything happened in the past few years that has led Doncic to this place. A perfect storm, allowing the Lakers to get him in a time where he's never been more committed. And that last part there is very important, where he's never been more committed. So, like I said, look at the series of events that led Luka Doncic to be in this situation in the first place. It was, I think, that big injury that really hindered him and just threw him off course. Luka Doncic has been a guy that has been playing professional basketball since I believe he was a teenager. So when you take a guy like that out of his mode, out of routine, you're going to throw off a lot of things, and things aren't going to look quite right. And that's kind of like how Luka looked like, especially with that calf injury that he was dealing with just a season ago. And he didn't look right. There was some things that he still had to get right with himself. He missed the most time that he's ever missed in playing basketball. So it definitely makes sense for a guy like Luka Doncic to not really have his best foot or coming off of his best foot. But for a guy that hasn't looked super well, I mean, look at these stats for a guy who this is essentially a down season for a guy like Luka Doncic. 28 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 7.7 assists per game, shooting 45% from the field and 36 from three. That's a down year for a guy like Luka Doncic, which is insane to think. And now, if you just couple that with this new look Luka Doncic and how he is looking on the court, there is definitely a myriads of changes that we can see or we can expect to see coming up in this next upcoming season. That's gonna get me to my next topic here, as how it helps the Lakers, because there is obviously a lot of ways that a more in shape Luka Doncic can help the Lakers, but a lot of people are looking at it at just sort of like the surface level things. It's like, oh yeah, Luka Doncic is probably just going to be scoring better. Maybe he might be a little bit quicker on defense, but this just allows the Lakers to do a lot more things around a guy like Luka Doncic, and it's just the way he's been carrying himself since joining the Lakers. And this is more from that article there from Dan Wilkie, and he said his approach this summer, from shedding weight to adding strength to recruiting new teammates, shows who Doncic is as a player and as a pillar of the Lakers now, as much as he any cover could shoot. But the pictures that dropped Monday weren't subtle. Whether it's revenge, maturity, or timing, it's difficult to see the Lakers it's not difficult to see the Lakers are about to get the best version of Luka Doncic, and that they'll think it will be worth every penny. So this investment for the Los Angeles Lakers is beyond more than obviously trading one of your guys, Anthony Davis, for Luka Doncic. This has now reshaped their team and reshaped their outlook on how they are going to be perceived for the next 10 couple seasons, or however many seasons Luka Doncic is going to be a Los Angeles Laker. So just him committing to the team, him bringing in guys like DeAndre Ayton and also Marcus Smart, helping recruit those guys, show how committed he is to this Lakers squad. And not only with him getting in better shape, but just a lot of different things that we'll start to see better materialize now, because he is in better shape. Because if you get to say, Luka Doncic has been one of the better first quarter scorers we've seen in the NBA for the past couple seasons. But now, with him being in better shape, maybe that even translates to the fourth quarter as well. And then maybe he can be a better closer as well, because he has that clutch gene. He has hit clutch shots before, but there has been times in his career where he gets to the fourth quarter and he's a little bit out of gas. Now, with him being in better shape, this is less of a problem. And then also him being targeted on the defensive end. We know that's going to be happening a ton, even still, with Luka Doncic being in better shape. But him being in better shape makes him maybe not switch in certain scenarios, or maybe holds up better, say, against quicker guards or faster players, because he still has that strength factor. He has been intaking over 250 grams of protein every day. So he has been really trying to recover and build up that and keep that strength that he has had, and has really utilized to a major advantage that he uses at his 6'8" frame, and really just maneuvering anywhere around the court, because he can get to any spot he can on the court with his size and his strength included. So just couple that together with an even better foundationing for your physical conditioning and strength, then the sky is the limit for a guy like Luka Doncic, and the sky's the limit for the Los Angeles Lakers, I believe, because this really opens up the door to more possible things happening. Because there is years that people were talking about LeBron maybe coming on his down year. Obviously, he's towards the latter stages of his career, and he isn't going to be that number one guy anymore. That is okay, because you have Luka Doncic ready to go in his physical prime, ready to attack the NBA season. And yes, we can sort of think a guy like Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks, but this whole thing, it seems like it's going to be a combination of just what was a perfect storm for a guy like Luka Doncic, and for him to happen on the Lakers. We're just very fortunate as Laker fans to really get a player of his caliber at this point in his career. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. Do you believe that this transformation is going to change things for the Los Angeles Lakers drastically? Or do you think this is more of just to help the Lakers in little parts, but they still need some things to really add to the team to really make them a more formidable team in the West? Let us know in the comments down below. And just one more thing for us, guys. There is still 79% of you who have recently watched our videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that Laker news, Laker updates, trade rumors, game recaps, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys can come right here to Lakers Digest. All right, I've been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I will catch you guys on the next one.